In this quick video, I want to show you how we're spending less money to get more auto accident clients. Now, I understand this probably sounds crazy. How can you spend less money? This is such a competitive industry. It must take huge amounts of money to invest every month in order to get new cases. Well, I want to actually show you some strategies you can use right away to improve the amount of leads you're getting and make them more useful to you. And this is stuff that Google probably doesn't want you to know, right? I'm going to tell you strategies to get away from Google pay per click because that's where most people are spending so much money. And I'm going to get into it, but I want to show you ways to get around having to go only through Google. So, what's the problem? The main issue that law firms face is there's no predictable source of clients unless you want to invest massive amounts into Google or pay for television ads. It's going to take huge upfront costs. And without those leads coming in, if you don't have a sustainable lead pipeline, you're not going to be able to really forecast your growth. You're not going to be able to invest in marketing, and it gives you a lot of stress and uncertainty. So if you run a personal injury firm, you've probably seen a huge drop in the number of incoming prospects due to the lockdown. And you're probably heavily relying on referrals, right? Most of the firms I speak to, one of their main sources of business is referrals. But now that all the people referring business to them are locked in their house, your incoming leads have probably dropped. So one of the firms I was speaking with, they were saying that their inbound calls have actually dropped 80 to 90%. So what's our end goal? Well, it's to fix all those issues and actually have a sustainable lead generation pipeline, right? How can you really forecast your marketing? How can you really grow your firm and absolutely have a ton of cash? So you're probably getting hammered all day, every day by huge marketing companies, right? They want huge contracts. Or there's smaller companies and they're just pestering you nonstop. Here's a couple screenshots from one of my clients. I find these hilarious. That's why he sends them to me. You can see every damn day, no variation. It's the same basic emails. He gets hit up constantly. Now, I blocked out everybody's names. I'm not trying to blast anybody, but you can see that it's just annoying. And I'm sure you've probably run into this all the time. You're probably getting hit up by all sorts of automations and virtual assistants just spamming your inbox with nonsense. And that's why I want to take a moment to thank you. I respect your time, and that's why I made this video. I'm going to make it to the point, give you some strategies you can take away from it, and then you can decide what you want to do with it so we don't waste our time, on a phone call. Your time's very valuable. I'm not trying to get you on a call if you don't think it's already right for you, which is why I made this. So you've been getting hammered all day, and these huge marketing companies, that own all the great domains, they want huge contracts, right? Some of them want $20,000 or more per month. Now, you should kind of expect that, right? It's a very competitive industry, but I do think it's unfair to ask for a year-long contract. And also, this doesn't really scale to your business, right? It doesn't really scale to the size you are or how you're going to be growing throughout the year. Most of the attorneys I know, obviously, you guys are all extremely well educated, but many of them that I work with, they're absolutely tech savvy. So they've actually run a lot of their own marketing. So they've been split testing pay-per-lead services. They've been doing blogging and SEO. In fact, one of my clients is an expert in SEO, and he's better than most of the agencies out there. And of course, there's networking and speaking, putting your name out there, putting your brand out there. But this isn't really a viable option for the rest of the year because of the lockdown. And of course, the gold standard for lead generation is pay-per-click Google Ads. So this is the normal way of marketing. This is how much it costs per click, all right? And if you run any sort of Google Ads, you know this is how much it costs. Hundreds of dollars just for one click. This is a recent snapshot. You can take a look. And this is just one keyword. Obviously, there's many in here I could have used as an example. But if you've run any sort of Google Ads, you know that this is normal. And this is hundreds of dollars just for a click. This did not lead to a sign up. It didn't lead to a call. It didn't lead to a case. This was just on the chance somebody would actually call off of your website or sign up. And this is hundreds of dollars. Now, how are you going to compete with law firms spending $50, $100, or even $200,000 per month just on Google Ads? Now, Before I get into this, I just want to introduce myself real quick. I'm ex-agency. I ran 6 figures a month, all on Google. And I've even brought clients to Google headquarters in Mountain View, had clients spending 6 figures, and we went there to work with the Google team and came up with strategies to spend multiple 6 figures per month. I was even flown out to Tokyo for 2 months to spend $500,000 a month just on one offer for one company. So, I'm very familiar with Google and I appreciate Google. I built my entire career on Google, which is why I'm telling you this, because I'm not playing favorites. I'm telling you the truth. Google search, the CPA, the cost to acquire a client, they're absurdly high. And they don't even necessarily qualify to be your clients. So it made me rethink everything. There has to be something that is more cost effective, qualifies the actual prospects coming in, and keeps the prospects warm, right? There's all these issues with the lead quality, but also keeping them interested in your offer so they don't just bounce to another attorney. So the end goal of this is to show you how you can use these strategies and have actual cases. And the requirements, of course, are that there's new leads every day and it's scalable up or down. So you can spend 20K a month, but you can also just go down to 2 to 5K a month, or scale it up, 40 or 50K a month. And obviously to get outside of Google. Now, you can still use Google. I'm going to tell you things that you can use in conjunction with that, if you want to actually have other sources besides just Google or just TV or just radio. Okay, we want to get prospect information to see if they're worth your time, and you want to make sure that they're actually delivered to you right away so that they don't just go to another person on the Google search page, and they've been hit up consistently so that they stay warm and you're top of mind. So this is what I call the law firm launch. First issue, getting outside of Google. Now, social media can be done right at a much, much lower cost than Google. And what I saw the major failure or major issues that law firms were having was that they didn't have the time to just sit there and mess with Google ads all day. So Google was an issue, but then for Facebook, they would just put up something very basic, but they definitely didn't have time to mess with Facebook all day, right? You've got to focus on your cases. The way to really do Facebook is to split test these multiple things. And, this is something I do every day. Test out ad creatives, age groups, and geo-targeting. So not just going for your city, but maybe 100 miles out. Or if you can take on the entire state through online cases, then getting places that your competitors aren't really reaching, right? Places that are less saturated by ads. And of course, the main cities are going to be dominated, but you can actually, think your way around it. So really think about how you're doing your targeting. And how do you qualify these prospects? Well, here's what I do. I get them through a questionnaire that has about 10 questions. And I get all their case details. Time of the accident, were you at fault? Are you currently represented? And they go through this so that by the time that they're finished and all the information is sent to you, you actually know if you want to talk to them at all. And when we talk, I can actually send this to you live. You can actually see the whole funnel yourself. And it's delivered fast, right? So how do I send these leads as quickly as possible? Well, I have something called an instant response follow-up. This is something I highly encourage you to implement into your firm. And here's an example of what I'm using. This is actually a little outdated because I've actually built it out to be much more than this. But as soon as they fill out the form, they get a text, they get emails, and then they even get a call connection with you. And it's all recorded, all tracked. And they are constantly getting your information, your credentials throughout this communication so that you're top of mind and they are excited to work with you. And there's even things like follow-up texts and voicemail where we're just leaving messages and getting them ready to speak with you. Because one of the issues I see with pay-per lead is that they're sending you leads. First of all, they could be sold to multiple people, but mainly if you're not talking to them right away, they forgot they even wanted to talk to you. Okay, that's an issue with every business, not just attorneys. So what's the end result? Well, I don't want to overwhelm you with all this information. Here's just some screenshots, but here's what I send my clients: call recordings, emails, and then spreadsheets with all of the information. And this way, and it keeps on going, right? I've got all sorts of things with pipelines and funnels and different things. But to get all of the information into one place, your team is ready to go, and you actually know which ones you actually want to talk to. So how does this actually help my clients? Well, here's Katie. Katie's awesome, and she received 5 to 8x return on investment every month. Now, I don't want to just talk about it. Here's actually her mentioning it.
Hey David, how's it going? Just wanted to touch base with you now that we've wrapped our campaign and say thank you for the awesome work that you did. I know you stepped into our campaign about 6 months in. Before you joined the team, we were getting about 20 to 30 leads per month, maybe. And as soon as you came on, we started getting 20 to 30 amazingly qualified leads per day, which was a 5 to 8 time return on our investment. So thank you so much for all your hard work. I know you wanted some feedback at the end to see how everything was going, and campaign was a total success. So thank you for all your hard work.
And it works on a huge range of budgets. Some of my clients spend a couple $1,000s a month. Others spend $20,000 or $30,000, and they should all work just as well on that scale. So it's your invitation to exit this page. If you can only handle a few more leads, a few more deals, right? Because you don't have a structured pipeline. It takes too much work for you to build up all this automation, all this tracking, all these systems if you only want to just rely on a few more referrals for your cases, right? These are people, this is only going to be worth it if you really want to build out a really strong pipeline. And if you're waiting for the economy to recover before you do any marketing, I think, you should also, you can also exit, because I'm looking to work with people who aren't going to wait for their competitors to take everything from them, right? There's no reason that people in our industry should wait. We're pretty much pandemic proof as far as I'm concerned. And if you're serious about investing in your growth, then take these tips, right? Either way, you can take these tips. I say you implement some of these in your current strategy. And if you're excited about really growing and you want to have a solid process for consistent, exclusive, and warm prospects that are ready to be delivered to you, then definitely let's have a chat. I'd be really excited to work with you. And I would show you all of these systems so that you could really have a strong strategy coming out of this quarantine and be ready to take on your competition and explode your law firm. So definitely book now if you're ready to talk.